Hari Om, welcome to this class on the essentials of Sanatana Dharma. We are doing this third class after first discussing about what is Dharma and then how we apply it to our Sadachar. So let's start with the chanting first. Share, but we'll just continue that. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahnau Bhunaktu Sah Viryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Gananam Tva Ganapatigam Havamahe Kavim Kavinam Upamashravastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Anashrinvannuti Siddhasadhanam. Om Shri Mahaganpataye Namaha. Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwarah Gururev Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So today we are going to look at the essential nature of bonding that our society can gain from Sanatana Dharma, that is Varna, Jati and Kula. So we are doing this series on the basics of Sanatana Dharma. So if we go to the highest goal, that is moksha, but it's just that highest goal should not be our only mean in life, only meaning in life, or only goal or aim in life. Spirituality is useless if we cannot utilize it to live our life more beautifully in the society and in the with the people around us. It is our transactions around people also that matter. Just leaving this and going to a jungle is not the end goal. That is why the moving away from society is mentioned as the last final part of the of our life, which is the sannyas ashram, right? So now we hear a lot about people talking about caste and politics and all kinds of things, that caste is harmful. That is because we don't have a basic understanding of caste. So many people I see, they don't have this understanding, yet they keep commenting, making all kinds of judgments कि caste तो होना नहीं चाहिए, there should be no caste system is very bad. But yes, caste system is bad, but we don't know what is caste and what is Varna, Jati and Kula. Because of that, we don't understand their applicability in life, right? So as we have seen earlier, we have to start with understanding the basics, how or why we have to do what we have to do. So first we saw dharma. What is our dharma? Well, dharma we saw is the nature of every object, and therefore, if that nature is maintained, then this creation survives, this creation prospers, everything goes according to the divine plan. But if you disturb that dharma, then that dharma causes ripples in the creation, and because of that, because of those ripples, we all suffer. So it is our duty to maintain that order in life that is given by Sanatana Dharma. So how to maintain that order? And for that we saw in the previous session about what is sadachar. How to make our behavior in our life more beautiful so that we have maximum friendships, alliances, good connections in our life, and we also inwardly we are beautiful and pure. Once we do that, once we learn that from Shastra, You see, watch any of those videos of these children performing any scriptural song or some kind of bhajan. It makes you feel so good. Why? Because they all inculcate all those beautiful values of Sanatana Dharma, where we learn our surrender to the divine, a higher power, and let it work through us. भगवान सिर्फ बाहर नहीं, हमारे अंदर से काम करे. He should be working through us. That should be the goal of our purpose in life. So for that, the Sanatana Dharma has given us three very, very basic systems. Varna, I will like to add it, mention it as Varna Ashram, because there are two aspects to that, and then Jati and then Kula. These three are given so that we do our duties in life in the best manner possible. So Varna is not something that is made up by someone. It is a natural thing. It is something natural that is given to us by our own nature so that we perform to the best of our society, of our ability. In fact, it directs what ability we have to what goal we can achieve with that. Simple one-to-one relationship. जो हम सब करने में सबसे ज्यादा सक्षम है, वो ही हम करें. That is the basic system, right? So we have the Varna, we have the Chatur Varna, so four Varnas: Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. Right? And then we have the four ashramas. Can you tell the four ashramas? क्या क्या है चार आश्रम? कौन बताएगा फटाफट? शिल्पा जी.
ब्रह्मचारी, गृहस्थ, वानप्रस्थ और संन्यास.
Very good. है ना? So these are the two basic fulcrums or base केंद्र जिसे हम कहेंगे, where around which the whole society revolves. Varna ashram dharma. So what is Varna? So Varna basically says whatever is the best capability that you have, you utilize that to choose your path in life. उसी को पकड़ो. So for that it says, like we saw in Purush Sukta also. I discussed this in great detail. But why I am condensing this separately is because it is a important topic. Where it was spread over so many, maybe 7-8 lectures we did about this Varna Ashram Dhamma. So what does Purusukta say there? Brahmano asya mukham asit. So it does not say that Brahman is born out of that Parampurusha. He is not saying that Brahman jataha. No, he says asit. Brahman is samaj ka mukh hai. So that should be the guideline for being a Brahman. So someone who is intellectually motivated, someone who is intellectually capable, he should provide the guidelines and the roadmap for society to function. So Brahman है, वो ज्ञान की तरफ उसका ध्यान है. His focus is towards knowledge. So he should be approached in how to do things, right? So that is why he is given a very, very prime importance. And here I would like to mention that in our system, before we move on to Varna Ashram, what we covered in the earlier class is that we don't enter into spirituality until and unless we get some kind of shock. जब तक कोई झटका नहीं लगता ना, हम जाते नहीं उसमें. So like, when you are having a dream, को सपना आ रहा हो, when the dream is very pleasant, no, it doesn't get interrupted. So you are going with your girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever, roaming around in Switzerland or some other beautiful country, and then you are seeing the sights, and that dream will go on. You will be enjoying that dream. But suddenly, let us say in that dream something violent happens. As a lion comes. When you run your own way, तू अपनी तरफ मैं अपनी तरफ. You don't wait for that. Then suddenly the dream breaks. सपना टूट जाता है ना. That dream breaks. So same way in our life also, no. This whole our Shastra tells us this whole Jagrit Avastha, this whole is also a dream. This is also a dream, and therefore when we wake up, when Shastra wakes us up, we get less bogged down by the problems in life. ये जो समस्याएं हैं ना जो हमें दिखती हैं, वो शांत हो जाती है. How? You use that analogy in the dream. In the dream, when you wake up and that lion is chasing you, when you wake up, and then do you go and search and for your gun and go to kill the lion? No. Now ये तो सपना था. It was a dream, so I don't have to worry about it. I have to take my mind away from it. Same way, when a problem comes to us in life, then we have to learn to take our mind away from that. Arey, ye ho gaya. It had to happen. It was a product of our previous experiences, my previous desires, my previous karma. And because of that, that situation came. So now it has come, it will go away also. So I will not be disturbed. I can learn to solve the problem. That way I will, in fact, I will effectually solve the problem in a much better way. मैं शांत बुद्धि से उस समस्या का समाधान कर सकूंगा, right? So as long as everything is going well, hunky dory, we are enjoying our things, then we don't turn towards spirituality or towards dharma. And but once we get that shock, like if there is a death in your own family, I don't like to go into that, but still, if there is a death in your own family, then you realize that there were so many people around in my circle in whose death I didn't go. I was not there for them when they needed me. मैं उनके लिए नहीं था available. I learned this from my father. Everything, anything in the society, anything happens, he will be there to help them. Anyone has a problem related to anything in business, he will go. हम कहते थे, we used to say, why are you doing all this? Or why are you wasting time? Now I see, everyone respects him so much because he was there for everyone. He was there for everyone. Therefore, we also, when we think we don't need to do anything for society, when we need society, then we understand that, yes, I didn't do my duty towards society. मैंने नहीं किया. So we have to understand the basic nature of society itself. We have to understand the basic premise of society. किस पे ये समाज चलता है. So once we understand that, we have seen through our classes on earlier spirituality that this samashti vyashti vivek that we do, that the whole universe is one entire entity, and I might appear a part of it. मैं उसका अंग लग सकता हूँ, but I am the whole society. I am the whole society. A society is not something different from me or apart from me. So I have to nurture it and handle it and do the best for the society, because if I harm it, there will be no goodness for myself also. मेरे लिए भी नहीं होगा. Someone was telling a very beautiful story about this 26/11 terrorist attack. So what happened is in that hotel, there were so many employees, over 250 employees were there at that time. There were 100 plus exits from that hotel. Not a single employee left. कोई भी नहीं गया. So someone then later asked them, some of the girls who were there who were working. So she said, how can we leave our guests? हम कैसे अपने guests को छोड़ के चले जाए? So foreign universities, they approached Ratan Tata ji, said, what kind of HR principles do you follow that they are so devoted to you? They are so sure of their duty that even their own life doesn't matter to them. हम चाहे हमें कुछ हो जाए, नहीं, पहले मेरा guest. So Atiti Devo Bhava. So Ratan Tata said, I don't know anything. He was a very humble man. He didn't say, नहीं मैंने कुछ नहीं किया. But when they analyzed later on, they found that most of the staff, in fact, all of the staff were from small villages. So there, it is in our culture, which we are slowly forgetting in the big cities and all that, where this feeling is ingrained that you are a part of society. You have to be there for everyone. For every marriage in the village, you have to contribute, even if it's not your relative. For every kind of work that is being done there, you have to help and make. If there is a well being dug, you have to go and dig it, because it will help everyone. So you don't sit on the side. आप अलग से जाके मत बैठ जाओ. Right? So that is the essence of realizing our oneness with nature. कि हम सब कुछ मैं ही हूं, मैं किसके लिए कर रहा हूं? अपने लिए कर रहा हूं. This society is one consciousness pervading the whole universe, and that one consciousness is myself, me, and therefore I have to work through everyone. This is my body, I work through this body, that is fine. Someone is working through other body, that is also me working through his body, my consciousness. And therefore, this whole samashti is one huge organism. ये एक ही जीव है, अलग अलग जीव नहीं है. Because of the separation of bodies, I see them as separate organisms, right? So therefore our society has always taught us, no? Today we examine so many instances in the scriptures. People come to me to ask why this happened. All of them will involve this same basic principle. We fail to see because of our own selfish nature that why did that person sacrifice himself for society, or why that person sacrificed himself for the greater good. The soldier does it na. What does अपनी जान खो दी उसको क्या मिल गया? So he has given up his life for the society because he is the society. Not he is not a part of society. Huh? He is the society. You all are the society. So therefore, we all have to understand this basic thing that Sanatana has taught us, that we are all one society, but we don't separate ourselves into multiple beings. That is the recipe for disaster. You can say there is a recipe for keeping yourself separate. मैं enjoy कर लूँ बस. That is the normal thing. But enjoying yourself is being taught by in today's philosophy. But enjoying is not actually freedom. That is slavery. We are becoming slaves to the enjoyments that we are enjoying. We are becoming slaves. So it is not true freedom. Right? True freedom is when I have control over what I am enjoying. When I am able to enjoy when I want to, when I can drop when I don't want to. That is the difference. So therefore, the following of Dharma and means taking up this basic principle that we should always be available for all the people in society, because the society is not separate from me. समाज मुझसे अलग नहीं है. That is what we always have to understand. And because of that, Samaj has given, it also recognizes every individual has some unique contribution to give to the society. So because of that, it has divided into, Bhagavan says, Chatur, in Gita, Krishna Bhagavan says, Chatur Varna Maya Srishta. I have made. I have created. It is the Lord himself. So those who say it is an artificial construct, they are not correct. Always counter them that this is not something artificially created. So as I said, what is the first step of that? There's the Brahman. He is not born out of the mouth of the Param Purusha. He is the mouth. He is the mouth. So Brahman is the speaking power, the expressing power of society. He teaches us. Shabd. Every shabd has lot of power. शब्द में बहुत पावर है. शब्द आपको बहुत कुछ करवा सकता है. बट शब्द के साथ अर्थ जुड़ना पड़ेगा. शब्द के पास अर्थ जुड़ना पड़ेगा. You like a girl in your class, a boy likes a girl in his class, and he throws a paper writing the name of that girl onto that just to express, but he has not written anything. So what, the girl will feel like he wanted to hit me, so she will put a stone in that and throw it back at the boy. So you have to write, you have to express yourself. So therefore अर्थ में अर्थ जुड़ना पड़ेगा. So therefore we have to understand Shastra, that when something that we are expressing, that should be able to make us do. So Brahman gives us the actual knowledge of what to do and why to do. Right? He has studied the scripture. It is not necessarily a person, it is not necessarily someone born into a certain family. Anyone can be a Brahman. But our Shastra also says that in Gita, Bhagavan says that we are born into those families where we can express our individuality in the best way possible. So whatever sadhana you have done, Bhagavan says it will never be wasted. It will always be put to the best use, and it will be available to you in the next janma. So you will be born into a family. So if you have sattvic tendencies, you will be born into a Brahman family. So that is the basis of birth-based caste. Or birth-based Varna. I will not like to use the word caste again. I will explain the difference between caste and Varna also. So because of that, our Shastra says that is also happening. But because whenever we don't follow this system, whenever we don't follow the Varna Vyavastha, then we end up doing mismatches. And because of that, today so many families are mixed. So today the caste is no longer preserved. The Varna is not longer preserved. So therefore Bhagwan is also confused कि तुमको कौन सी family में भेजूं. So he is also not sure because we have mixed it all up, right? So therefore he gives us opportunities then he gives us opportunities to express our previous whatever inclination. जो भी हमारी पहले की साधना है उसे पूरा करने के लिए भगवान एक व्यवस्था जरूर दे देते हैं. We always get that. Whatever family we are born into, if we have we are born into a Brahman family, but we have an inclination to make money. he will give us the resources. He will give us the mindset to do that. There are so many people coming into business from other family, other varnas. So therefore, it is we who have spoiled this system. But Bhagwan has made it in the best way possible only for our benefit. So that is why he asked to preserve it. But then if you don't, so it is not that this Varna Vyavastha was in perfect form in any yuga, right? In any yuga. I'm saying that. Why? Because if we leave aside Satyuga, Satyuga is the period when there is no physical bodies. They are all metaphysical entities. All the spirits are in the higher plane. The fights between the devas, asuras, they are all there in Satyuga, right? So there it is not, the physical body has not come. Right, but once the physical body comes, then there is always be some people who have this raga, dvesha, all kind of faults. So therefore, never in any type period of society can this varna vyavastha be perfect. But it is the ideal. ऐसा होना चाहिए, ऐसा नहीं हो ये हमारे ऊपर है. It is up to us whether if we follow this, then what happens is, so if we take all the four categories, what are the four categories? So Brahman is the mukham asit. Then Bahu Rajanyak Kritaha. That is said in the Purusukta. So the Kritaha, the creator, the worker, the one who is the strong arm of the society, that is Kshatriya. Kshatriya is someone who can work for society, who can safeguard, who is the power, the balam of society, right? He safeguards the society. He generates all the revenue for the society. The Kshatriya takes 1/6 of the produce, the king. He takes 1/6 of whatever is produced. So today's taxes are different. We have so much higher taxation. Then the given scriptural reference given is 1/6 of whatever you produce. So therefore he generates, and then he doesn't keep it for himself. अपने लिए नहीं रख लेता है. He doesn't collect that tax to enjoy and go into revelry. The ones who did that, they were doing wrong by the Varna Vyavastha. So just like the Brahman, whatever he earns through his work or whatever kind of teaching he does, he utilizes that to just feed himself for the barest minimum. But next day he has to go out for bhikshatanam. He has to go out to beg. So therefore, no one was encouraged to retain their money, because money inflow is money increasing. The more money flows, the more money will increase. So we were always told, our Varna Vyavastha tells us that you give back. Whatever you earn, you spend it on the others. You spend it on whatever you need, you spend in yourself. So the Kshatriya also is supposed to keep doing yajnas, keep giving to the poor people who need. He is also at the end of the year. End of the year we saw in Kathopanishad. At the end of the year, he is supposed to do the Vishwajita Yagna. He is supposed to give away everything that is spared from his previous years. So anyone wants to ask something? Someone raised a hand, or just a reaction I got? Okay, sorry. So the Kshatriya is supposed to also in the same way give away everything that he has earned at the end of the year. So the basic structure that he has to maintain for being a king, that has to be there. But other than that, he has to keep maintaining. If the king doesn't maintain the society, he will not be considered a good king, or he will be removed very soon, or someone better will come and take his place. So the one who has the strength, he is the Kshatriya. The one who safeguards society, one who protects society, the soldiers, the guardians, the rulers, they all have this strength. Using that strength, they take the resources that are available and create a very safe and secure society. That is the second layer of people, the second nature of people. So these are not something artificially imposed. Everyone who is naturally predisposed will go into that. But if society is not regulated, the Brahman will be earning for money. If the society is not regulated according to Shastra, the Kshatriya will use his balam to collect money, like, the Gunda Vasuli tax we have, that kind of person he will become. But if he is guided by Shastra, we direct his inclination to the dharmic manner. That is what Shastra will tell us. So everyone has that inclination. That inclination is to be directed towards the right thing. That is Varna Vyavastha. उसको सही दिशा देना. हमारी जो भी प्रतिभा है, जो whatever be our best abilities, we direct them to that direction. Then next is Vaishya. So that is the trader, the one who makes money. So the one who makes money, he also supplies that money to the king for fighting a war. He also helps. He is the main person who is maintaining all the good aspects of society by doing yagyas. So the yagya will be done by the Brahman for the Vaishya mainly and second the Kshatriya. So in that he is supposed to also give. He has to feed the cows. He's given all the duties that are required for maintaining and enriching society. And then finally Shudra. Shudra is the base. So today, we have disrupted that base. You don't find electrician, plumber. Why? Because we have disrupted that base. No one is ready because everything is money oriented. Right. So today, what will happen? Varna Vyavastha works automatically. Shudra is supposed to take care of the labor aspect, the creation aspect, the actual physical work. So that is why he is the feet of the Lord. बिना पांव के हम खड़े नहीं हो सकते. We can't stand. Society will collapse. So Shudra is the base for that. Society will collapse. So that is why today we constantly need people who will do that work. We don't find. And then what do? हम क्या करते हैं? We give them more money. That very same money that we were getting into that by earning into an intellectual job, we are ready to pay any amount of money to get our work done. Because we have neglected that core of society. That core of society then is needed to be protected by reservations and given jobs that they don't deserve, given duties that they are incapable of doing. And because of that incapability, they end up destroying the society. So there are people in the government office who don't want to work, who don't want to do anything. They are getting their salary. You give them something extra, then only they will do. You grease their palms, then only they will do. Why? Because they are not mentally trained to give to society. They are not mentally trained. They are just given something as a privilege. Right? So therefore, if we maintain the proper Varna Vyavastha, everyone will fit into their roles of whatever is their duty and perform it in a dharmic way for the benefit of society, to uplift society, not for their own individual gain. And that is why Varna Vyavastha has been given to us. So never say, koi kehta hai na, never say ki when everyone says caste system is bad. No, then they don't understand caste system at all. Caste system is an artificial imposition. It is the imposition of the powerful ruling the weak. So like in the Western countries, they were this what you call they had this system of the feudal system. So in that feudal system, the peasants were ruled. The kings snatched money from them. They tortured them and all. So that same thing they mapped onto us. They identified the person who is ruling. They identified the person who is intelligent, and therefore they tried to impose that system on us. And because of that, it has become our nature today. Today it has become our nature because of so many years. Because they had to break our society. I read in Oxford History of India. I was once going with my daughter to Falaknuma Palace, a Nawab's palace. And there I read a book. I went to the library, and because I like to read mainly, so I requested them to see their books. And one of the books was this Oxford History of India. In that it is written by the Britishers that if we have to rule this country, we have to break the stranglehold of the Brahman. Everyone follows the Brahman. So therefore we have to break. So what did they do? They vilified the Brahmins. They created bad literature against them. They created wrong notions against them. And then they also created the lower society. If you read the book by by Pandit Satish Sharma, very, very renowned person. He lives in the UK. He's a good friend. And not a good friend, but known to me. He has attended a lecture or two of mine also. So he has written a book on this, the criminal tribes of India, how caste was made into a weapon. So there he has shown clearly how the lower castes were treated as criminals. So that is what they did to degenerate our society. But is it now their blame? Today we are independent now. Why can't we give it up? Why can't we give up that thing that they imposed on us? It is our fault. It is not their fault. So just telling how it came. कहाँ से आया ये? So because of that, they created a system where the weak, the powerful will rule the weak, the powerful will exploit the weak, and therefore this whole imbalance came in society. But the original Varna Vyavastha is nothing like that. It is about doing your duty to the best of your capability, identifying that capability, doing your duty to the best of your capability, and then also ensuring that your duty is done in a dharmic way. That is the essence. That is the, in two lines, that is the essence of Varna Vyavastha. So once you do that in a dharmic way, you will contribute to the growth and the thriving of society. Yes. And therefore society will do well. Therefore you have to do it in the manner that is prescribed by Shastras. So that is in essence. Then because we are not always at all ages able to do same things, सब कुछ जो हम बचपन में करते हैं बड़े में नहीं कर सकते ना. So that for that the society, the Shastra has given us the ashrama vyavastha. So ashrama vyavastha is given to us, which Shilpa ji illuminated. She gave the list. So we saw the brahmacharya. So in brahmacharya we are following that very same Brahman aspect. We have to learn. All the boys, all the girls, they were supposed to learn Shastra. They all went to the Gurukulam, irrespective of any caste, creed, anything, any Varna. If you see the works of Dharampal ji, he has described the all the statistics given in British journals about the students in India. Every student, every child used to study in the Gurukul. Every child. Very few percentage who didn't want to study, you can't force them. So they didn't study, but most of them they studied, and they consisted of all caste of people, all varieties of people, right? So therefore, everyone used to study, boys, girls, everything. Only thing was different was at the time of the marriage, the girls are given a special education by their mothers. This is given in Pranav Vada. You can look up in the book. So there it is mentioned clearly. So before marriage, the 5 years, the girl, because girl has more duties, na. She is more strong. So she can do more, she can take care of more things. So therefore, she is also taught, apart from Shastra, the other things, to how to take care of the household also. But all girls are not same. So we have this, what we call Purush Bhav and Stri Bhav can be in both people. The feeling of love and the feeling of karma, the karma bhav. So it can, karma bhav can be more in a woman also. So those women, they became shastric experts. We have so many experts, women experts on Shastra also. So they also entered the intellectual field. So there is no distinct boundary line to separate. Later on, some kind of you call orthodox people came along and they created this division. It is a false division. It is not correct. You can go to any of the previous Shastras, you will find it clearly. Everyone studied everything. So it is not, there is no such distinction. So we have, in Brahmachari state, we have to study. We have to know our scriptures. We have to learn our position in life and how to perform our duties in the best manner possible. So once that is done, the student knows he's more equipped, because education is what? Education is all about learning how to conduct yourself in the world, survive in the world, do well in the world. And that is what they were all taught. So the first part was where they are taught that you are a part of society and you are society. That is in the Upanayan ceremony it is taught, or the initiation process for girls also. All of them is that same principle is taught, that you are all one part of society. You are all not just part also, but you are the society. That thing was taught to them through this Gayatri mantra. So therefore all of them then are equipped to perform well in the world, and that is called Dvija, the second birth for any human, because earlier we are not equipped. So the Shudra is said to be the one who is only worried about his own physical maintenance and enjoyment. But someone who wants to rise higher, he has to go beyond that and enter that state where he can perform something for society, right? He can do something for society. So for that, the Brahmachari ashram is then proceeds into the Grihastha ashram, where we can take on the duties of society in a more proactive manner. I have studied, I have learned that I have to contribute to society. I have learned that I have to nurture and maintain society. The Grihastha is the fulcrum of society. So that is the age 25 to 50, or today you can divide into four parts, whatever the natural age of today is. Right. So therefore, the Grihastha is supposed to create wealth for society, do good for society, maintain, and the five dharmas that we have given, the Pancha Mahayagyas we have discussed earlier also, that you have to look out for the whole of creation, because everything that you have is a gift from society to you. So you have a debt, rinam. So that rinam has to be given back. So you give back your rishi rina or brahma rina to the gurus by learning, keep on learning your scriptures, keep on learning your tradition. It is a wrong concept that in Hinduism you are free to do anything. Hinduism is not forcing you. No, you have to learn your dharma. If you don't learn your dharma, everyone will swallow you. You will not be able to survive. That is why so many other systems are coming and disrupting us, because we are not following our dharma. We think that it is okay to not do anything. Sadhana, penance, tapasya, every day is necessary. It is a necessary part of our routine. It is taught to us by scriptures right from the first page. So therefore, we have to keep doing that. We can't run away. Sandhya Vandanam all three times. If you don't do that, do in a symbolic way. Not you don't need to do the chanting in that way, but you do that. So the Bali Vaishvadev, the five Mahayagyas that we have to do our duty. So Brahmarinam. I have to give to the teachers. I have to keep learning. Giving to the teachers is not going and giving the money to the teacher. Giving to the teacher is happy with which student? The student who studies well. The student who has absorbed his knowledge. So we have to give that rhythm by being good students. Then we have to give to our devas, the divine forces. Give back to the divine forces, follow them, and don't disrupt the flow of nature. Give to the devas, that do the homa, havanam. That havanam is what? A symbolic understanding of how the society is interconnected, and there are forces larger than us. Oh, sorry. There are forces bigger than us who run this universe, and therefore we need their blessings. So to do well in society, to do well in our lives. So therefore we give that Devarinam. The third is the Pitri We studied all this in the previous class also. So the Pitri to our forefathers, they have done so many good things for us. So we have to follow that tradition. We have to maintain that tradition. We have to bring it in our lives. We have to repay their debt by doing the good things that they taught us to do. That is Pitri Rinam, right? And then we have a Rinam to debt to the people around us, Nara Rinam or Atithi Rinam. So therefore we have to welcome all the guests. In fact, we have to aspire for more guests to come into our house so that we can serve them. Because we expect the same when we go to another's house. Today's jokes make it all about, a guest is coming and how to avoid the guest. That is not a healthy attitude. But we don't do that. That is just a joke. So therefore, Atithi Renam is one of the very prominent part of our society, right? So like I told you, I was telling you that story about this Taj bombing. So there also, no, the waiters, the staff were so much involved in Atithi Renam that they didn't even care for their own lives. So therefore, that Renam has to be given back to our society. And finally, the Bhutarenam. We have to take care of all the non-living things, all the whole of non-sentient nature, as well as Bhuta is also the animals. So we have to take care of them. We have to feed, give some food to the cow, give some food to all the other animals who are around us. People leave something for the birds, something for the ants, and so on. So all of these are our duties towards maintaining this very society, which is me only. मैं ही हूँ ये समाज. So I have to maintain that and I have to give back to that society. Therefore, this Rinam can only be repaid by doing our duties. Therefore, in Sanatana or in any sane modern system, duties come before rights. Right will come later. I tell this quote from the Spider-Man movie, no? With great power comes great responsibility. The reverse is also true. With great responsibility, you get more power. The more you do your responsibility, the more you take up responsibility to your society, the more power you will be given to do things, do the things you want to. right? If someone is sitting in his office just finishing his normal work, he will not get promotion. He will get promotion only when he steps up. He asks, Sir, kuch aur karna hai? Is there something else I can do? Is there something more I can contribute? Next time his increment will be better. We think someone else is doing better. Why? Because they did something better than us. So therefore, society also functions on that very, very same principle that our rights have to come first, come last. Our duties have to come first. If we do our duties towards society, our rights will increase in that proportion only. वैसे ही हमारा हक भी बढ़ेगा, वैसे ही हमारी जैसे जैसे हम जिम्मेदारियां लेंगे वैसे वैसे ही हमें भी उसका इनाम मिलेगा. So we don't have to worry. भगवान से कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते ना मा फलेषु कदाचन. Keep doing your duties. The fruit doesn't mean don't worry about the fruit. It means your fruit will come naturally. So why do you have to worry about that? That is the essence of that. Okay? So therefore, once you follow that path that our Sanatana Dharma has given, that all these Chatur Varnyam, the four Varnas, are about indicating to you your strengths and follow that strength to take up whatever duty you can in society. That can come from birth because earlier it was from birth because people followed the one's Vyavastha properly. But it can come from your inclination and you will know that when you do the things. No? There are so many talent recognition teams today, so many schools that do that. What is their purpose? Same thing. To identify what is your strength and put you in that field. So that is what our Varna Vyavastha also does. Then the second aspect of that is Jati. So if we just finish up, sorry, the Varna Ashrama Dharma. So in Ashram Dharma also, the Grihast has to take care of society as a whole. Next is the Vanaprastha. So give up interfering too much. We tend to give up, we give advice to everyone who comes, but sometimes we tend to give advice to those who don't need it. So don't go where you are not welcome. Don't go where you're not welcome. No, someone asked one of our teachers that my father wants to sleep in my wife and my room because he feels like he alone. So he said he should understand. He should understand. So that as with time relations change, we should not be imposing ourselves. So Vanaprastha represents distancing ourselves from all these worldly duties and devoting ourselves more to the higher duty. Then you can cut yourself off from Samaj. You can do things for Samaj only when someone comes to you for advice. When someone comes to you, be there, be available, no issues. So Vanaprastha represents that aspect where you can focus more on your study and focus more on your Shastric inclination and move more towards that final goal of moksha. So that is the time of sadhana, the maximum time when you can do tapas, japa, all these are increased in Vanaprastha. And then finally sannyasa. Finally leave everything. Because you have done your duty to society, but there is a duty higher than society. It is to your own self. That I am Atma, I am the highest. I can't keep tying myself to this raga and dvesha, to all these attractions of the world, to all my emotional likes and dislikes. I have to move away from them if I have to discover and reside in my true nature. That can be done while in the society itself, but it is easier. It will be easier once you move away. When you have completed your duties. Till you have duty, you have to do duty. जब तक कर्तव्य है कर्तव्य करना पड़ेगा. Otherwise, it will interfere with your sadhana. But if time comes that you have to give up, your duties are over, then you can move only into sadhana. So that is the Varna Ashram Dharma. Doing what we can do in the best manner possible in a dharmic manner. Then comes the Jati. So Jati it recognizes the concept that in a family, if there is a family tradition, then others can build on that tradition. So that is why jatis were created. Jatis are given by not just Shastra, but our natural system of living. So when we have a home that is making beautiful pottery, the next generation will come, they will say, yes, okay, your father is making only pots. I will decorate the pots with some beautiful designing, paintings. I will create different shapes of pots. I will create different materials for using that pot. So same way that trade is developed by the coming generations. And it is easier. It is easier for the next generation to build upon that, because then they have the wealth of knowledge of the previous generations. So therefore, they are able to use that wealth to create more wealth. So that is the essence of Jati, because in Jati, it is natural. No, even today you see the if there are two lawyers and like they have children, their children are will be more successful as lawyers because they have the experience of their parents or doctors or whatever profession. Right? Same way in from ancient times also, so many different traditions, so much different types of creative pursuits were created, and it was passed down from generation to generation, increasing the variety and the beauty of all of those traditions, and therefore it gives you a very distinct advantage of doing well in life when you take on something. A lot of people from business families will go to business families. So therefore same thing applies there. You might have a different interest, you can follow that as a hobby, as a separate most period of your life. But of course you can, if you follow the uh, traditions of your fathers or your forefathers, you will get a distinct edge in life, right? So if you guys find something better, you can move on. No issues with that. Society doesn't tie you down. But if you stick to that, you can carry forward the tradition. Traditions will not be lost. Today, so many jatis are gone. Na? So many things, so many trades we have lost. So many traditional arts we have lost because we didn't follow. So if we follow Varna Vyavastha and Jati Vyavastha, we will be benefited by it. We will not lose by it. We will do well. But if we use it in adharmic way, which today is the problem with caste, then it will create a problem. So we have to inculcate dharma. So unless the teaching is there, then the teaching will not be something that the teaching is there, it will guide you in the right manner. But if it is not there, then it will take you in the wrong direction. It will take you on the path of destruction, right? So therefore, we have to be careful in how we direct our pursuits. The Varna and Jati Vyavastha are natural systems that direct us in the right manner. And therefore, they are not something that are artificially created or imposed. If we don't follow them, we are sure to destroy society. पक्का है लिख लो. So therefore we have to follow them in wherever it is possible. If not, then we can do whatever is the next best thing, right? Bhagwan in Gita also says that what paradharma bhayavaha, following the duties of someone else or what is not your own inclination will lead you to definite destruction. So therefore, follow whatever is your own strength. Do whatever is whatever is the best for your capabilities. And then finally, Kula. Kula is the lineage. The lineage is Raghukul Reet Sada Chali Aayi, Pran Jaye Par Vachan Na Jaye. Maintaining the strength of the word. So that when I give my word, everyone believes that this person is from that lineage, then he will do what he said. So therefore, same thing is built on that Kula. It gives a sense of pride. It gives us a sense of belonging. So that is the Kula Dharma. So following the Kula Dharma helps us maintain those values that our forefathers established after long years of learning, understanding, and culture. And because of that, they have passed down to us that Kula Dharma, and therefore when we follow that, we create a special place of pride for us in the world. So that is why the Kula Dharma is taught or followed in our society. So Varna Ashram and Jati and Kula, these are the three pillars that make our place in society more secure, make our society more strong, more invulnerable to outside attempts. Right? So the moment I told you about this, the Britishers wanting to break us up, they locked onto this strength. They locked onto this strength that this is the strength we have to break, and therefore they started breaking up the Brahmin first, and then they also started creating dissatisfaction amongst the poor. That no, they are taking away everything from you. Today we also do it. ब्राह्मण हम मंदिर में जाते हैं, ब्राह्मण इतने पैसे मांग लेते हैं, शर्म आनी चाहिए हम लोगों को. What kind of nonsense we are talking about? He has learned so much from years of study, and if he's asking for something, we should give more. That is what we have to when we are going to a temple. But we count our rupees like when we go to भगवान. No, हम भगवान के पास क्यों जाते हैं? हमारे आग्रह छोड़ने के लिए, to give up our insistences. And then there we are, if we are going to think about that when we are going to Bhagwan, then don't go to Bhagwan. I will tell you, please don't go. Please don't go to a mandir. If you can't give up your duragrah, if you can't give up your sense of holding on to your belongings, भगवान के पास जाते हैं तो सब कुछ छोड़ने के लिए, to give up everything. So if you can't do that, then don't go to Bhagwan. You are not deserving. So therefore, we will be like those reservation people, the one for whom everything is reserved, getting something that we don't deserve. So if we have to take what we have, what we deserve, then we have to keep giving back. We have to keep giving back, keep giving up our identifications, keep giving up our requirements, whatever we have. So therefore, if we have to hold this society together, Varna, Ashram, Dharma is very, very important. We have to follow that. If we are not able to follow whatever the next better alternative is. But even if you don't follow, don't blame the Vyavastha. Don't say it is wrong. Don't say caste system is bad. It is a wrong understanding. Misusing the caste system is bad. You can say that, na? Misusing, those who misuse the caste system to suppress the lower people, suppress the people who are under in a lower category. So now what is happening? They will rise up. They will take back those rights. They will in fact make the other caste feel now depressed. So therefore, nothing is ever going to happen if we hold on to our proper Varna Ashram Dharma. It is the wrong interpretation of Varna Jati Kula which leads to this friction, which leads to these clashes in this society, right? So this topic is over for now. We'll wind up for today. Do you want to do the questions now, or shall we do them separately after stopping the recording, or shall we keep it a part of this only? I think Shilpa ji had asked one or two questions, right? Shilpa ji, आपने क्या पूछा था? Okay, I'll read from here what Shilpa ji had asked, or maybe you can tell yourself. हाँ, बोलिए बोलिए.
1 second, मैं ढूंढ रही हूँ.
नहीं, मैं पढ़ देता हूँ. I think you asked about the Vedas. So this is a very deep topic. Each mandala of the Rig Veda is assigned to a particular rishi, not because he heard only that, but because it signifies a bhava that is associated with the rishi. What do you mean by this, right? So therefore, okay, so we have, this is good to hear that you listened to the previous lectures and you extracted a question from there. So, what I repeatedly tell you, you have to go, if you go into the Vedic part, you need a lot more other knowledge before you can fully enter. But if you know the basics, it will always be helpful. So this is one of the basics. So a rishi is not just a person, I will say, not just a person, he is a bhava. So to understand that, just let us apply to ourselves first. अपने में लगा लेते हैं, अपने में घटा लेते हैं. Let us apply that rishi is a bhava. Rishi is not just a person who has heard the words. He is also the bhava of the words. आप क्या, जब आप कुछ बोलते हैं, whenever you say something, what is behind that? Someone is sitting at the side of you, you don't have any kind of feeling towards that person. So even he starts to talk now, you will say, बाद में बात करते हैं, please, अभी मेरा मन कहीं और है. Your mind is somewhere else. But if that person is someone dear to you, or if not just dear, but right now you have a feeling of, love towards that person, then suddenly you will want to talk to that person, you will want to express something to that person. So whenever we say or express something, ना, जब भी कुछ शब्दों में निकलता है ना, उसके पीछे एक भाव होता है. For everything there is a bhava that expresses, and that bhava will permeate through what we said. So even if we say something nice, my bhava is bad, my language and tone will be something that in fact it will offend the person. It happens, na? This women are more capable of detecting this. Men are a bit lacking in that. So we detect the bhava of a person by the tone of something that is being said. Same way, the Vedic verses also if you compare the name of the rishi with what the verse is saying, you will find it matches as the bhava. Always, wherever you go, whatever verse you go, I can give hundreds, thousands of examples. You can check, and it will be the same. So Vedic verse is what? Same way. It is the what is the Vedic mantra? The mantra is the voice of God, the Lord. Right? How to raise yourself higher in this creation. It has different vibrations which will awaken within you divine powers, and those divine powers will take you on a higher spiritual journey. So that journey is the Vedic mantra. Every mantra is a journey. So when that chanting is done, then the most essential part of the mantra is its bhava. Uska kya bhav hai? And that bhava is the rishi which tells us, like the first mantra, Om Agni Mile Purohitam, Yagyasya Devam Ritvijam, Hotaram Ratnadatam. I start with the first because it is the easiest, simplest. So, who is the Rishi? Vishwamitra. So Vishwamitra, Vishwa ke prati mitrata ka bhav. And that permeates the whole verse, that I offer my obeisances to the higher powers. May they bless me, may they with me. So Vishwamitra is the most popular because keeping ourselves aligned with the people around us is the best thing we can do. So that bhava will be always prominent in those kinds of treating. Sometimes it is aloofness, sometimes it's vairagya, and so sometimes it is more about increasing our efficiency. Shuno shape, ajir gati, all those different bhavas, all different rishis. Yeah, so you have so many other like Vashishta. So they all represent different moods or different bhava within us that will express some kind of universal truth. So these rishis, so it can be, you can say that it is a bhava that is expressing that verse, or you can think that it is a person who is you can say embroiled in that bhava. उस भाव से पूरा अभिभूत है. And because of that, he expresses the verse. So I can listen to any Vedic verse when I am in that particular bhava. So I can, so one rishi has listened to all Vedic verses. But is that rishi having only one name? No. So he is one person only, but he can have different bhava. So same way, the rishi represents different bhavas that have expressed the Vedic verses. Does it make sense, Shilpa ji, now?
जी
ठीक है. So next you asked about Hindus have been facing 1,000 years of persecution. What did we do wrong as a society? So I think we discussed this today also, but if we can just point that only, we didn't follow our dharma. We didn't follow the rules that Shastra has prescribed us. Don't blame anyone else. Whenever you don't do that, people will take advantage of you. No, you have to be strong. You have to be strong. You have to be a cohesive unit. So wherever we faltered, wherever we lacked, there is another factor also. When you are doing well, people who don't do well, they want to snatch your wealth. चोर होते हैं ना समाज में, चोर होते हैं. They want to snatch your wealth. They are themselves not capable of generating their wealth. So therefore they come to loot and plunder. So you are open to that once you thrive and prosper. Right? So you have to be careful while thriving and prospering also to learn how to protect that. So that Kshatriya has to be given importance. That is Varna Vyavastha importance. So therefore, we have to follow our Varna Vyavastha. We have to strengthen our knowledge of Dharma, bring it into practice, create a cohesive, strong society so that nothing can, today आज तो शब्दों से बांट देते हैं. शब्दों से हमें वो काट देते हैं कि हाँ तुम लड़ो आपस में. They will give some group some kind of privilege, deny that privilege to someone else, and then make those two fight. So it is up to us to realize that अरे किसको बांट रहे हैं, हम ही तो बांट रहे हैं. So therefore we have to see through that thing and understand and hold on to our dharma and not indulge. Because you see, if we become negative like with anyone else, then what, we are the same as them only. No, we can't. हमने अपनी शास्त्र के सारे जितने भी भाव है उनको पकड़ के रखना है. So if we follow someone else's culture, then we are that culture only, na. Why should we become like them? We can't become wild and unruly and killers like someone else. We have to preserve. But if we give it up, अगर हम ये करें चलता है तो चलता है, तो फिर चलता है, फिर हम भी चले जाएंगे. So that is how we have to understand, right? And then I think George had a question. It's about Vedachar. I think George is very involved in Tantra. So like in We have in Hinduism the system that anything, whenever there is some kind of strong discussion, then people get attracted towards it. So we have built up so much a huge system of the darshan shastras where there is so much of debate. सो एक दूसरे को गलत बोलता है. तो जब वो गलत बोलता है ना, तब वो दूसरा जाके देखता है, अरे हाँ, क्या क्या गलत है, वी गो एंड स्टडी, देन वी स्टडी. बट एक्चुअली ऑल द दर्शन शास्त्र सेइंग द सेम थिंग इन डिफरेंट मैनर ओनली, right? But till that we are looking at it in a simple way, people don't get attracted. So therefore it uses this technique of saying, yes, this path is better, or this has more variety. So therefore in tantra there are vamacharya, and so there are about 9 types of achar. So they have added something to make it more attractive, and then saying that vedachar is something, what you call the beginning level or starting level. And therefore if you come to tantra, there are these other acharya that you can follow. The highest is kalacharya, the where you give up everything. So what is kalacharya? Moksha. So in effect, you can divide the spiritual path into innumerable kind of divisions, but ultimately the beginning and the end point is the same. The path can be in different in so many ways. So there, just like he said, there is Vedachara. There are so many kinds of achara, so many ways of following, so many paths that we can follow into reaching the ultimate goal. So it is not that Vedachara is something that is the beginning point. In fact, everything comes from the Veda. All the acharas, all the modes of behavior. Achar is what? Mode of behavior. So different modes of behavior can all lead you to the same goal, or even you can follow so many different paths while following a common pursuit. That is that. So अब किसी और को है, anyone has a new question quickly, or we'll wind up for today.
Sir, I had one thing to ask.
Yes, beta.
Sir, you said that all the unprivileged, like the people who have got this by reservation,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Yes.
the non-deserving people are in the positions where they shouldn't be. So
Mm.
now with the like as you can see with the ongoing situation, it is only going to worsen. Like और reservation को strong किया जा रहा है. So how
Mm-hmm.
what is the solution for this? Because it has been done for the past like how many generations we don't know. So that mindset is still there, now that they were oppressed. So they
Mm.
won't think that okay they are undeserving and therefore they should not work in that particular position. So what is the solution for that?
Solution we have to bring. हमें लाना पड़ेगा ना. Because look, don't worry. In society, every imbalance corrects itself ultimately in the long run. Right? Someone has said that they were oppressed, they will be giving rights. Then time will come, they will see that this kind of thing is creating another kind of imbalance. So the ones who are victims of that imbalance, they have to protest. They have to tell their side of the story. They have to express it. They have to protest. They have to say it in front of the ones who are controlling society. The government is not something separate from you. Government is me. Government is not separate from me, just like Vyashti Samashti. So we have to let the government that if you are bringing in this ST Act to target all the general caste people, then ultimately they will revolt. And we have to protest that. And once we protest, they will be forced to bring it into line. Nothing can go on if enough people are there to point the right path. So we have to bring it into the mainstream, express the ideas that yes, ये हमें करना जरूरी है. And don't get depressed over it. I see so many people ना, hey, अब क्या होगा? सब खराब हो जाएगा. अरे नहीं होगा. Do something about it rather than burning your brain over it. So we can create, there are certain groups coming together that are making the government aware that this is something wrong, that anyone on a campus can be just complain that I was a lower caste and something was said to me and therefore other person will go to jail. So that kind of thing, it has to be protested, and it has to be, that law has to be altered. We have to do that. It can't go on forever. So sometimes, for women also, they were subjected to some kind of negative things. So because of that, laws were created. Now that law is creating another imbalance. So ultimately the balance will have to be sought. Balance हमें ढूंढना पड़ेगा. तो आएगा. आएगा. हम चिंता नहीं करें. But we have to think क्या करना है. Anyone who can do something about it, he should do about it. Though if you can't do it, then support someone who can do something about it. So that way it can be done. ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है जो नहीं हो सकता है. Right?
One thing I just had to ask, sir,
Mhm.
in all these rishis, no, mostly they are like male only. So today, how we are targeted is that, see, if had that been the case, agar itna
Mhm.
liberal hota, to women would also have been there in like good numbers. So how do we counter that? I mean, like,
Uh-huh. Yes,
so
you are right that that name is there, but there are of course female rishis also. There are Lopamudra, there are others also. But look, as I explained to you, know, if you explain in the right perspective, that rishi is just about a bhava, and actually, in bhava, the bhava is not male or female. Right? So if it is a Vishwamitra bhava, it is not actually the bhava itself is not male or female. So you have to understand if in the right concept, if you understand it as a person, then the question will arise. Right? So therefore that question will arise. But in the Veda itself, there are mention of so many other female intelligent rishikas and other women who debated that. You see, everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. Why should we expect the same strength in all people? Right? If a woman can contribute by building up society in a different manner, why should we say that that other manner was she was underrepresentation? Underrepresentation will be always be there. मैं भी protest कर रहा हूँ. मुझे खाना क्यों नहीं बनाया देने जा रहा? मैं क्यों नहीं घर चला रहा? मुझे घर में रहना है. मैं भी protest कर बैठ जाता हूँ फिर. Anyone can protest. So it is not that way. Everyone has their duties and something that they can do better. There is a story about, a person, a man who has to manage the household and he ends up messing it up everything. So I'm not saying that women will mess up something else, but जिसको जो capacity है वो build करे and therefore everyone can do whatever is best, but representation, over representation, under representation is not the right way to look at things, right? जो जिसको best कर रहा है वो कर रहा है ना. Or wherever it is about the Vedas, I have explained to you the concept. Now that the bhava is actually not masculine or feminine, but there are some names that are masculine and feminine, so you can say that it is there. But there are female rishis also, female rishikas also in the Vedas. So that is not right. And of course, Veda is a outpouring of the Lord's knowledge. No, it is Ishvara's voice. So there you can't impose this kind of narrow thinking. ये प्रॉब्लम उनकी है जिनकी है ना उनको झेलने दो. We can point out to them this is, but आप सिखाने जाओगे ना आप नहीं सिखा पाओगे. There is so much depth in Sanatana Dharma. The main aim of going into Shastra is what I can do, go there and learn and put it to the best application. But if you find fault, you can find fault anywhere. किसी में भी कहीं भी. तो दोष दृष्टि वालों को तो दोष दृष्टि मिलनी है ना उनको तो कुछ नहीं कर सकते. You have to tell them अपनी दोष दृष्टि ठीक करो. Then you will learn. You can't teach every part of Shastra to those people. So many people have so many opinions about Shastra. It is not that the Shastra is wrong. It is your drishti. The drishti of Shastra always should be what good I can learn, what I can inculcate, and what is useful for me. शास्त्र में कही हुई हर बात हर एक के लिए तो नहीं है. It is for every individual, it's different. So therefore, the women will choose what is good for her, man will choose what is good for her, the other people, whatever their Varna ashram, they will choose what is good for them. We don't have to segregate. अलग नहीं करना है. इसको वो नहीं मिला, उसको ये नहीं मिला. That is not the right attitude. Right? If someone has that problem, tell them your attitude is wrong. Not, I don't need to explain that. Right?
okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, then any more? Time is also up. So I think we'll wind up for today and we'll continue this. You can keep other questions ready for the next class. If you want, if you give me sufficient questions in my group and chat, then we can do only on the questions also. No issues there. Right. But I would like to continue this Essentials of Sanatana Dharma series, continue with some other newer topics that are related, interrelated, so that we can know that what we are supposed to do as members of this Sanatana Dharma, right? So let's wind up for today. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.